I returned the candidate's call, and his first words shocked me. When I called him, he answered saying, "Hello?" It doesn't seem like you can do anything right anymore when it comes to trying to get a job, because when we look at the recruiter advice on LinkedIn, it seems a bit out of touch, you might say. Back to the post we were just looking at, apparently a candidate newly active in the job market reached out to him. His LinkedIn profile portrayed a high-level seasoned professional. So when I returned his call from the same number, he answered saying, "Hello." What are you supposed to say when somebody calls you? I've never been able to understand why professionals answer the phone without saying who they are. They never know who's on the other end and how important they might be to their business or their career. I think you answered your own question there, Jamie, because they don't know who is on the other end. Just because they called you and you didn't answer doesn't mean this person knows that you're a real human. You know how many fake recruiters there are on LinkedIn? And certainly not answer with a tone that suggests, how did someone get this number? Honestly, that's how we all feel when recruiters call us. How did you get this number? I didn't sign up for this. State your name. I always say, "This is Jamie," and state it in a way that conveys, "I'm glad that you called and I'm ready to talk." This could be your first impression with this caller. Stay safe, troop, and hit all 5 points of contact. An entire LinkedIn post just because he called someone back and they said hello, instead of saying their name and everything else. What do you even do anymore? Then we have this recruiter. She crushed the interview. Exemplary answers, great chemistry. And then she sent, "Thanks for your time. I'm excited about the opportunity." Generic, forgettable, fatal. So you can't even send a thank you email after you apply to a job or interview without doing that wrong. But while she was writing pleasantries, another candidate sent this. "I've been thinking about your customer churn problem. You lose 3 clients per quarter at $200K each. That's $2.4 million annually. I've attached a 90-day plan to cut that in half." That's pretty smart, but that's just some ChatGPT BS. So you just go to the job application that you're applying to, and you paste it into ChatGPT, and you say, "Give me a 90-day plan and a nice thank you note that addresses all of their business verticals." And then you end up with something like this, and you just paste that to the company like you care. Someone less polished is solving their problems. If this ChatGPT slop that they did is solving their problems, you got played, Rob. The winner didn't thank them for their time. She showed them what time without her would cost. Not really. She just kind of did some free analysis for them. Most candidates think thank you notes are about manners. Winners know they're about value. This is so ChatGPT, it makes me want to vomit. Everyone on LinkedIn these days is ChatGPT. It has a flow. You can just tell. While I was doing this, they were doing that. Here's another paradox. Here's a problem, but I have the solution. Let me talk about a paradigm shift. It's so predictable now. You can just see it. Stop sending "thank you for the opportunity to interview" and start sending "here's what I've been thinking about since we talked." Why not both? Stop sending "I look forward to the next steps" and start sending "here's my first take on fixing your sales cycle." But they don't even work there yet, Rob. The brutal truth, they don't need your gratitude. We already know that, Rob. Oh, that's corporate. They need their problem solved. That's true. It's about value. And between every hour between interview and offer, those problems get more expensive. Maybe. They might just stay the same. Might just be the same problem. Send solutions, not thank yous. Pay me for the solutions, Rob. Don't be expecting free work from people just for the opportunity to interview. And then you're telling people they don't need your thank yous. Well, damn, Rob. What are we supposed to do? It's like the other one. You can't say hello when you pick up the phone. You can't send a thank you email unless it contains solutions to their business problems when you don't even work there yet. And then you have this recruiter, Christopher, here saying, "You can always tell when a candidate's reading from the screen. The pauses, the perfect phrasing, the eyes doing that tiny left to right dance. Interviews can be stressful. However, authenticity is more valuable than AI-generated perfection every single time." Well, if you struggle with speaking, or maybe English isn't your native language, or you just had some notes prepared on the side, just take a hike. You can't do that either, okay? You need to be your authentic self. So if you're nervous and don't do really good at interviews, but you're great at the work you do, that preparation is actually being held against you because you're just using AI and trying to cheat when the candidate's definitely reading from another screen. Like, is this supposed to be a roast, Christopher? Because you can see the reflection of text? Who cares? Honestly, they're putting in effort. If they didn't care at all, they wouldn't do anything, and they'd just be like, I don't know. People have to remember, not every candidate is going to treat the company like it's their own company. They're just working there. So you can't say hello when you answer the phone. Oh, that's bad. You got to say exactly who you are every time, even though you might not know who's on the other end. And you can't send thank you emails unless it contains free solutions to their business problems. And you can't have notes on the side of the screen for preparation in an interview because you're automatically cheating and using AI. And then there's this recruiter. "I once interviewed a candidate who said all the right things but leaned so far into the camera I thought they might crawl through the screen. Great resume, solid skills, but the vibe, pure desperation. Sorry, you needed a job too much. You were Leaning too close to the screen, therefore you're desperate for a job. Too desperate. Here's the truth. Okay, ChatGPT. Recruiters can smell neediness faster than we smell coffee in the morning. Interviews aren't about begging. They're about seeing if both sides fit. Pro tip, show up curious, not desperate. What's the difference between showing up curious and leaning too close to a screen in an interview? I think it would just be Supriya here not being very nice. Oh, and also in the interview, you can't ask about work-life balance first or salary. According to the co-founder at Replo here, if someone's first question in an interview is about work-life balance or compensation, I reject them immediately. We pay more than most startup companies in San Francisco. People on our team have a lot going on outside work, but we're not going to tell you any of that if you ask about the money or what you could be doing, because we want you to think that you own this company and work like you do, even though you don't. I'm the co-founder, so stop asking about those questions that don't involve work, okay? This is your life now. Like, nobody's gonna work like you do. They don't own it. Noah Gilmore and I probably take more vacations than most founders. In fact, taking vacations is a great example to set for your team. But asking this up front just shows you don't have your priorities straight. I think they do. Someone prioritizing themselves and their life first is their priorities straight. I think that's perfectly all right. You don't join an F1 team and ask how many vacations you get. It's an entirely different industry. You don't join a Michelin star restaurant and ask if you get weekends off. You might. I think that's a perfectly valid question. You ask what the job is first and what you can contribute. No. I think you can just talk about everything like normal people and stop playing this stupid ego game. Priority's not straight if I'm not the number one thing in your life. My answer is that there are many, many places to work if you're optimizing for money. In fact, I used to work at one of these places and it's great. 3 years out of school, I was taking 55 days a year off from work, and I can happily refer you directly to my old team. But if you want to move faster than anyone else and not get paid for it the same way as the co-founders do, then Replo's a big place to be right now. Just don't ask about money or if you get to go home. And how much? We have another founder and CEO here. The best interview question I've encountered is Airbnb co-founders, if you had a year left to live, would you still take this job? It's pretty blunt, but I love it because it gets to the heart of people's motivations. If their answer is yes, they're telling you they won't quit when job or life inevitably gets hard. There's a difference between life getting hard and having a year left to live, my guy. They're motivated by true passion for the mission, and if they don't own the company, what are they doing with their life? There's more to life than someone else's mission. And with that kind of inner fire and blind gullibility, they'll do whatever you say, probably for whatever money you want to pay. Our goal is to hire people who care deeply about improving the lives of students and teachers so much that they'd give their final precious year to that cause. Yeah, nice try. They're giving it to your cause, and then you're just saying, well, this is what we're doing, so you're doing it for that ultimately. No, they're not. Another recruiter that gets upset when you ask, what's the salary? That was the first and only response I got from a candidate I just reached out to about a new role. There was no, hi, Dan, no thanks for reaching out, just straight to the dollars. I mean, isn't that what you're interested in ultimately? Everything else is just pretending to care. Because you're just a recruiter. They won't see you again after they get the job. All these niceties and stuff, it's just fluff, and we all know it. What's the money that I'm going to make? What's the money that you're going to make? Now let's talk about if it's a fit. If you're in construction, you're probably getting calls and messages weekly about new opportunities, but I'll be honest, it caught me off guard. At least play the game a little bit. How about you just cut straight to it and be transparent and stop pretending? From my perspective, if salary is the first question, it usually means you're not quite ready to make a move. Salary is important, no doubt about it, but there are so many other factors that should influence your decision. The project, the team, the culture, the growth. For people that just want a job to pay their bills and live their life, the priority is not the project, the team, culture, and growth. It's just money, work-life balance. Can I take care of my kids, have a good life, go do things? And is my job crushing my soul every day or not? That's about it. Now, we also have tips from a recruiter expert here, Shlomo Measles. I really don't know how to pronounce it. Shlomo Measles? Is this real? It has to be real, I guess. Anyways, he has some tips here. I was just scrolling through making this video, and I came across Shlomotion here. It's just like the more you scroll through the recruiters on LinkedIn, the more ridiculous it gets. I'm noticing another meta along with the rage bait that people post on LinkedIn is to use tragedy for views. Someone else's tragedy specifically, like this person here, Lorena. His name was Ron. He worked 33 years at the same company and gave everything he had to his job. He was the first in, the last to leave. But in the end, he missed what really mattered. He missed life. He passed away just 6 months before retirement. And then she attached the video. This is definitely not Lorena, I'd say. Pushing other people's tragedy for views is gross. Be sure to look at this sad story and like and subscribe to my page. I'm a personal brand evangelist. But don't forget about Ron, the person who died at work. As you can see, the people setting up the interviewing and hiring don't really know what they're doing. It seems like they haven't had to actually interview for one of the positions that they're recruiting for in a very long time. Ignore the people at companies that tell you not to look out for yourself, and companies that say, we're family, we'll take care of you. Ignore all that. Always look out for you first. That's what the company is doing. Regardless of what they say on the application or in the interview, they're looking out for them. So do the same for you. But what do you think? How's LinkedIn treating you? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe to see me call out more corporate nonsense like this. And if you have anything you'd like me to showcase on the channel or talk about, you can email me, Instagram, Discord, however you'd like to do it. The links for all of that are down in the description. But having said all that, I hope everyone is doing really well, and I'll see you in the next one.